A lot of attention on your particular positions there on the defense. Just your early thoughts the last couple of days.
It's been a pleasure having the opportunity to go out and work with these guys. Effort has been really high. The guys are excited and very appreciative of their opportunity to line up and try to get better every day. So we're just trying to do exactly that, just going to practice with great attitudes and great effort, just trying to get better on that particular day.
What did you think coming in, and what have you learned that might have changed just a little bit, if anything at all, the last few days?
Coach Ward and I both, watching film, we believe that the guys that we're playing with, the guys that we signed, are good enough to help us win ball games this year. The young guys are exactly who we thought they would be doing recruiting. Those are guys that will come in and compete at a very high level. They will be hungry to get on the field and have an opportunity to make plays.
Coach Spurrier isn't someone that, at least from a defensive side, gives a ton of praise. He's talked a lot about Al Harris Jr. here the last couple of weeks. Your thoughts on Al Harris and being one of those players that you said you felt could contribute early on?
Right. Well, Al is the benefactor of having been here since early June. So he kind of has a jump start in a lot of ways, just from the standpoint of getting acclimated to being in college, knowing what a weight room is and knowing his comfort level should be a lot higher than some of the other guys. But all of them are doing a good job. Al has done a good job. He comes from a good support system at home, so he's a very good person, very good guy, and he's a pleasure to coach.
That support system includes having a dad that's played in the league and a dad that's also coaching. How much does that feed into what he brings to the table as a young player, and give him not just the fact that he's been here earlier than these guys, but just the fact that he already knows what it takes as a young player to do the extra things beyond the field?
Yeah, he's been taught some things at a young age that a lot of other DBs have not had the benefactor of learning at a young age. Like you said, his dad being a guy that played the position for a long time, Al has been taught, to stay square in press coverage and to, when to turn and run and things of that nature, how to play with his eyes in the right place. So definitely with the experience that his dad has, it's done wonders. And his dad taking the time to teach it to him, it's done wonders for his skill set and his maturity with understanding the position right now.
How much does that factor into the level of competition where, of course, he wants to win the battles, but also the camaraderie of just trying to help teach these other guys? Maybe he sees a little something differently that they haven't quite picked up on yet.
The amazing thing is when you watch these guys interact with each other, they're all competing, and even the guys that have been here, like Shamari and Rico, all of those guys are competing. All of the young guys are competing very fiercely with each other. But when you watch them interact, they're excited when someone else makes a play. It's a lot of high-fiving going on. It's a lot of excitement just when guys in general make plays. So they're not being selfish. And these guys are really gelling in a manner that may be somewhat foreign in a situation like this.
Coach Spurrier said that the way these guys have come in, he named Lemons and Green and Al, Lamont, guys like that have already impressed and made their mark, and maybe freeing up Bryson to go back to safety. Is that how you're starting to see things right now?
I can't speak for Coach Spurrier, but what I can say is whatever the best combination of four guys are the guys that will be on the field. So it just really depends on, what if J.J. Marcus and Chaz Elder are playing at a really high level? What if T.J. Gurley is healthy and is playing at a high level? And what if they're playing better than Al Harris and Wesley Green? Then, you have to make a decision as to which four guys are playing at the highest level, and those are the four guys that need to be on the field.
I know it can be easier to have a bunch of veteran guys that make your job easier, but do you like being in this spot where you're going to have this infusion of young guys? Do you like kind of having that pressure to get these guys ready to play at a high level very soon? I
definitely would not call it pressure. It's a part of the job description. That's what we do. We're here, we're hired to mentor these young men, to help them navigate from going from being a teenager to a young man and to a man, and also coach them up and develop their skills. So it's not pressure. I will say there is a good feeling from my end going into my third season that there are guys here that we'll have an opportunity to teach them exactly how we want them to do it. A lot of the really good players we've had in the past, I have inherited them. And, that's a different experience, inheriting a player versus getting a young player and you having an opportunity to train them up on exactly how you want things to go.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
You probably just answered this question with your talking about safeties, but do you know how many of those true freshman cornerbacks will have to play this year? Do you feel like two of them have to play? Do you feel like only one of them has to play, or do you even know that number yet?
Honestly, we would love it if all of them had to play.
You would?
Because that means that all of them are playing at a really high level, and you want as many good players as you can. Not thinking about next year, not thinking about Georgia, not thinking about ECU, not thinking about Clemson, thinking about Texas A&M. And just understanding that they will be a really good football team. They will have a lot of receivers that can run, running backs that can break tackles. They'll have a quarterback that can make the right read. So the only way you can win a game, the only way you can play well is if you have a bunch of guys playing at a high level. So if Rico McWilliams developed and was playing at a high level, great. DJ Smith was playing at a high level, great. Chris Lamont, if all of them were playing at a high level and were in a position where they could go out and help this defense play well and help this team win, then that's what we want. So we don't have this person is going to red shirt mentality or anything like that. We're coaching all of them hard. We're coaching all of them, teaching them the way to play the position and hoping that they'll be ready to play against Texas A&M.
Have you ever had a group that's this young with this much uncertainty as a coach?
I have. There has not been a time in my 15-year career until I would say the last 2 years where I knew I could count on 2 guys or 3 guys that had always played. And as you think about it, my first year here, that was Bryson Williams' first year really being a full-time starter. So it's not foreign territory to have to get young players ready to play. And it's actually fun. It's a challenge. It's a welcome challenge, and it's fun. And we recruited guys that would embrace this opportunity.
I guess you call it a coaching tool that you can go to all these young guys and say, hey, if you practice well and you do what we're telling you can play this year, you can get their attention more than maybe like last year when all the spots were pretty much set.
Right. But even last year, the spots were not set. You saw the guys that always competed the hardest, and you saw the guys that always played at a high level, and you saw guys that knew the defense and knew how to get lined up. So I don't think anything has been set over the past years, but now that it is evident, you can see it. If I'm a player, you can see that it's not set outside of me just telling you that as a coach. But again, we recruited guys that we knew would embrace having the opportunity to play on a big stage, and they're working very hard every day to get ready to play against Texas A&M.